That's great, Jimmy. Uh, I sent them out last week. I think it was last Monday or Tuesday. I was hoping they'd get there within a week. I didn't know where they were all going, but yeah, I tried to get all the packages out at one time. I appreciate you showing up last time. Today I got a box of quarters that I'm going to open up and see what's in it. Lady from one of my banks, she knows I coin roll hunt, and she still said, well, we're not getting any new quarters in, anything in, so there's still that moratorium going on. And I was like, well, can I have anything? She goes, look, I'll let you get the box under the condition that you bring it back when you're done with it. So she basically is letting me search the box if I return it. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, it's slowly climbing. I think I'm at 119 right now. So that was shocking. I mean, I'm just going to continue to put out videos as I can when I can. Every time I get a mail call, I'm going to bring it in, and every time I open coins, I'm going to do it. Now, I only had a few rolls of dimes and quarters earlier, so I didn't record it, but I did record a video about the dime that I found, the dimes that I found. Uh, this is a 2020D, and I believe it happened in the P's also, where there's this mark here where there's been some kind of die clash or strike through or something that's happened to these dimes in the process of making them. I did a roll of 50 dimes, and there were 10 of them in varying degrees. This is one of the most severe. I've got one that's barely noticeable if you hit it in the light just right. But yeah, there's like two or three of them that have this deep gouge, which is more pronounced in the light and under magnification than naked eye, of course. So, but yeah, I think that was interesting. If I'd have noticed it was 2020, I'd have probably never opened it. But I'm kind of glad I did now that I know about this issue with the dime. Now, whether it's a recognized thing that people say can be graded and all that other stuff, I don't know. But right now, it's just pretty neat that it is a noticeable issue. So I'm gonna give it a few minutes and then crack into this quarter box. Okay, I'm going to get started. My bank gave me a quarter box today. The teller that I deal with, the assistant manager actually, that I've known for quite a long time, and she knows what I do. She said, "Here, I've got a box of quarters," and she made me promise. This is what she did. She made me promise that if I brought them back when I was done with them, she would let me have the box. So of course I made that promise, because that's just an easy way to return a box of quarters without having to worry about it. So I'm going to be taking my time with these. I'm going to wrap them as I go. That way I don't have to deal with that process afterwards. And we're going to take and go from there. So let me dig into it and destroy the box because I want to use it to take them back. Alright. Okay. If they're circulated, then they're circulated. If they're not, then we'll have some fun looking for W's. And opening them up, they look circulated. But I do see newer ones, or at least 2009s mixed in. So there's still chances for W's. So... Alright, so I'm going to take them out of the box here and stack them so I can use this box to put them back in when I'm done with them. Alright, there's 5 more. Alright, let's get to cracking and seeing what we find. And since I'm not bagging them to be put in a machine, I won't have to worry about doing 25 and then 25 and keeping up with $250. That's a good thing. Alright. Lots of quarters. It's going to be fun. I haven't got to do a box of anything in a while. Make sure I get all 10. Yeah, this coin shortage has really got the bank spooked because they're running out of coins in there. At this point, Wells Fargo is the main banker for our area, or at least my area, and my banks. And they're spooked because they just told me today that they're not even receiving orders of coins at all right now. They're back ordered. They get them when they get them. So what they have on inventory is what they have. So for her to hand over this box to me is pretty important, because she just gave away a box of her quarters, and she said she only had $900 in quarters. So for a bank to only have less than 2 boxes of quarters in stock, that's pretty intense. So without further ado, I will get into it. I'm going to get some empty rolls up here so I can use them. And of course I'll be looking for errors and W's. The errors that I know, rather. I don't know all the errors, but I know enough to keep me busy anyway. And then, of course, the off chance that we find silver, which is highly unlikely, but I'll still look. So, okay, let's see. Nice Nebraska. Leaky buckets and snows on the roof. That's what I look for on those. Some of these are pretty horrible condition, but this Connecticut, not quite there. Connecticut's have this really strong broad strike almost, where it's the center is off and one side will be fat and the other side will be thin. And I've got a couple of them that even there is no side over here where the center strike has actually run off to where there is no rim. So I always check the Connecticut's, and those are something you can visibly see. So it's not something that you have to really use a microscope for. That's something you can see immediately. So. Okay, moving right along. And make a mess. Can never go without making a mess. Look for doubling in the Liberty. I see a line. I don't know if that's the spinning horse. Do you see that line right there? Do you see spittle? I don't know. Would you consider that the spittle that they're talking about? I'm not sure. I've never found one, so I don't really know what I'm looking at. I've never held one, so I honestly don't know what I'm looking at. If that's just a scratch or if it's spittle. I think it might be a scratch, but who knows? went all the way around. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Spittle? No spittle? I'll set it aside just in case. Who knows? Okay, one shy. So I got one here to fill it. Okay, well, I'll hold it back just in case. You know, maybe I'll get a little bit more under the microscope and see if I can. I've never found one, so I have no idea what I'm looking at. I've seen others pictures, but you always see that line extends to the A and sometimes even through it. So I didn't know what to look for. I just knew that it came out of the mouth and goes through the A. But that's one of the ones I look for. Yeah, well, I'll keep that one until I find a better one. Forgot to turn the screen back to the main screen. Oh, I turned the audio off because I got people outside my window. I live in an apartment complex and people aren't very considerate around here, so yeah, I turned the audio off for a second. Bunch of kids. All right. Here we go. Like I said, it's going to take me a minute because I promised him I'd re-roll them and bring them back. That was the only caveat to me getting this box. The assistant manager, which I know real well, is like, look, I got less than 2 boxes. I got 1 sealed. I'll let you have it if you bring it back. I'm like, okay, I'll wrap it and bring it back for you. That way you're not out the quarters, because she knows what I do. She keeps an eye out for stuff when she's there. Yeah, at least I'm getting the coins, and that's the main thing. Sorry, guys, again, like I said, I live on the bottom floor of an apartment complex, and the stairs for the upstairs feed down right in front of my window, and I have to deal with this all the time. I figured this late I wouldn't have as many people, because it's 9:20 here. I wouldn't have as many people bouncing around on a Tuesday night, but obviously I didn't know these people very well. Okay, I don't see any silver, so let's keep on going. And I don't know, like I said, I know I'm throwing, I think it's the Oregons away, and it's either Oregons or Colorados that have the trees. I'm too blind to look for those trees, even under a microscope, so I'm not even going to try. It's just one of those that I'm not going to worry about. Yeah, it's a nice Illinois. Yeah, looks like it's even got some toning going on. Almost starting to get a yellow tint to it. Interesting. It's just a D though, so I don't do toners. I mean they're neat looking sometimes, but I don't actively go out of my way to collect toners. 1965. Okay, I'm not gonna fight it. It's like it's been re-rolled one too many times. Okay. So what are y'all guys doing this evening? I don't know who's streaming tonight. I figured Tuesday was the one with the least traffic, so I'd go ahead and do this tonight. Guess I'll leave that dime up for y'all to look at. Have any of y'all seen this? I got a roll of dimes along with these boxes from one of my other branches of the bank, and I didn't realize they were 2020s when I just opened them up. I figured I'd just open them, search them, and they were all 2020s. And I'm like, well, crap. Well, they're it's kind of hard to find errors and varieties when you only have one date, right? So I looked online, and they said there was this weird clash strike error, and so I decided to search them since I opened it, and sure enough, I found 10 of them that had varying degrees intensity of strike, but that was the this is one of the 3 that had the most pronounced strike or mark on it. Like I was saying before, let me get a screen up of the full scope so you can get a better picture of it. You can see here that it goes, let me try to move it down a little so you can there. It goes from the hairline up here all the way down, and it's identical, and every one of them is just intensity of strike. So sometimes you may not see the hair struck through, you may just see the bottom of the cheek here struck, but it's the same. So it had to have been something that happened during manufacturing, therefore it's an, when you consider that an error, I don't know what you'd call that. I mean, it's not a doubling, it's an actual manufacturer error. So I mean, I looked on eBay, they were doing a couple of bucks a piece, which isn't a lot, but in perspective, $2 on a dime, 20 times your money. I guess that's a good exchange. Oh yeah, do you? I tried that, and I wound up just making a mess. So I just do it this way. I've got plenty of these rolls from when I have gotten rolls of quarters that weren't Loomis, and I just kept them. And so what? And I take all, because I used to take all my coins to a coin machine, just dump them in and let them deal with it. But with what's going on, they wanted the rolled back, so I pulled out all the old rolls I had, and I'm having to do it this way. But, I don't know if I'm going to do this more than once, but I'm happy I'm getting to do it now, so. Because I don't know, I caught this bug, and now I want to scratch that itch, and it's hard to find coins now to scratch this itch. So, I am happy that she allowed me to do this. I can glean out little things. Keep forgetting to switch that back. I get to glean out the little things. I guess I can put it on this side so you can see it. These things here. And then they get their quarters back, and I don't have to worry about figuring out how to turn them in. Because if I had to turn these in normally, it would take me 2 days, because they only allow me $250 a day in coin deposit at my bank, at each branch though. So I could turn them in at I've got 2 branches that have the coin machines, but the way I've been doing it to keep me from basically not dipping into the same pot, because I did find out that my branches, they're far enough apart that they get their change from 2 different banks, distributors. So the one branch, I pick up halves and I dump quarters, and the other branch, I dump halves and pick up. No. One branch I dump off halves, pick up quarters. The other branch I pick up quarters and dump off halves. That's what I was trying to say. And so that way I'm not actually, if they do come around, yeah, it could be a die clash. That's what a lot of people were calling it. Die clash, strike through. That's the words they were using on the internet. So I just know that it's like I said, out of a roll of 50, I found 10. And some people said that it's happened. The identical strike has happened on a P and D. I don't know how that could happen though, since different mints, different dies, and they're getting the same error. So I don't know. Could that possibly be that was an error that came from the actual design itself then, and the design when it was manufactured it bled through. But then again, that would lend to believe that it would be on every die, which it's not. Like I said, I only found about 10 out of 50. So I don't know. Maybe they were lying about finding a Philly. I didn't see a picture of it. I just read an article. Or read a Reddit. I wouldn't call Reddit articles. So, anyway. But yeah, they said that the D's had this error, and I looked it up, and that's what I found. Otherwise, if I wouldn't have opened it, it'll wind up in my safe. Because I've decided that if I do get rolls, and they happen to be 2020s, because I'll take whatever they give me, I'm just going to stick the 2020s in the safe. The pennies, dimes, and nickels. That was my intention. I've already got 4 rolls of pennies in my safe, because they keep giving me brand new rolls of pennies. And until somebody comes out and says we've got an error on the pennies, I'm going to leave those sealed. There's no point in opening them because there's nothing to search for, really. I'm not going to send them in to be graded. For one, I wouldn't know what I'm looking at. Between the two, and the min is to replace the dies. So, obviously, that means that there shouldn't be too many of them out there, because it would probably get replaced at the end of the day when they check them. And that would also mean that it would not be in 2 different mints, the same clash. So, these are D's, so for Philadelphia one, probably a fib. I'm going to call it that. Let's see. When I first started this a couple of months ago, just cornrow hunting myself, I went through some quarters, and I was finding Kansas and Godfrey Rust. I found like 3 of them, almost back to back, and then nothing. I haven't found one since. Let's see. Look for the little die cut between the hat and the gap. Somebody showed me that one, so I started looking for that one. I know there's a delay going on. I tried to time it, and I think there's about an 8-second delay tonight. So, just to let y'all know. You know, Rob showed me this error, the double dot obverse on the bicentennial error, and he said that was one of the ones he was looking for, and he finally found one. They're extremely rare, and the best way to tell, see if you didn't know about it, is you look at the B, E, and R, and along the left edge, you'll see the doubling effect. You'll see where the E is actually the B, E, and R. You'll see that extra rim or extra layer from where the E under it is exposed. So, found one of those. He said they're very rare, and so I guess they're worth a lot. Yeah, the dimes I'll take and hold on to. Like I said, I found 10 of them in that roll. Once I get a better idea of what they're worth and what they are, then I'll start I may even use them in giveaways and stuff. Just, I'll keep a couple myself. Okay, well, I didn't know it was D-mint only, which stands to reason it would only be 1 mint. I just been checking them all because you don't see a lot of 76s anymore. Everybody, I mean, I know they minted more of those than they minted everything else because they spent 2 years minting them, but people, for some reason, still hoard those, thinking they're worth something. I don't know. I see one every 5 or 6 rolls. Compared to, with being such a high mint mark, you'd figure you'd see more than 5 or 6, one every 5 or 6 rolls. I mean, with half dollars, I've literally went through boxes where a third of the box were 76s. Just random. I mean, I don't know if it was somebody's dump that's what they did and it just wound up in my hands or what, but yeah, almost a third of box being just 76s, 250, 300 coins of 76ers. Oh, got a drink. I may have to go stop getting me a drink here a second. Rolls of circular 76s? Really? I didn't know that. Maybe I ought to start pulling them out and putting together a roll. Well, no, because that's only double face. And if you sell them on eBay, your eBay's going to take a cut. They're going to take 11%. And if you include the shipping, then the shipping's going to cost you, $3 or $4. So you're really only going to walk away with maybe $5, which is still not bad for, but technically spending 10, profiting an extra 5 on top of that, but it's a lot of work. I sold on eBay. Well, I still technically have a site on eBay, but I sold on eBay for many years. I've been on eBay technically for over 20 now. Yeah, over 20 years. I think I started in 98, 99 when they were just getting started. Now, I didn't do it continuously the whole time. It was off and on. The last time I joined was 2011. I was on there for since 2011. Now, this last year slowed down because of the new rules and the hoops you got to jump through. And it's to the point now where it's not worth selling on eBay anymore. District of Columbia. I always pull out the 2009s. Sorry, guys. I don't know if you collect them or not, but they seem to be rare, so I always pull those out. I probably got about a roll worth now out of several boxes. Just assorted ones, all 5 of them, not just of any individual one. But I pulled the 2009s out. I like those. If you're collecting quarters, that's one easy set to collect because it doesn't connect with either one. It doesn't connect with the States. Doesn't connect with the America the Beautiful. It's that in between where it was just 1 year. So it's an easy collection to collect. Washington. I heard about that. I just haven't bothered looking. I haven't really found a lot. So, like I said, I've got maybe a roll and a half total. What am I about to do here? Fixing to pull them and dump them, but nope, I got to put them up. I promised her I'd bring her rolls back. She gave me rolls. I'll bring her rolls back. Let's see. Do I have an extra quarter laying around? And you know what? I will use this as my quarter stash to fill other ones. That's what I'll do. So I'll put that up there so I don't get them mixed up, and I'll use that to fill. Because I've got a couple of rolls already rolled up. I'll just stack those in there. Alright. That saves a few minutes anyway. So rare doubling on the... I've heard of the keys on the doubling. The doubling on the keys, rather. I'll be 47 Monday on my birthday, and my eyes went a long time ago. I've worn glasses most of my life, so I'm not trying to squint. Even with a microscope, I'm not trying to squint to see if there's any doubling going on. I will find me another W. You know, I found 2 circulated W's so far. What happened to that coin? It's all splotchy. There's American Samoa. Take one, replace one. Anybody else streaming tonight that you know of? And, like I said, Tuesday nights I didn't really notice a lot of people streaming. I think I saw Half Dollar, Make You Holler. I think I saw them streaming. But I haven't really watched them. I don't know them very well. Other than a couple of videos I've watched where they were finding magic coins when I was trying to see how to open one time. Oh, it's Jeff also. He's a good guy. I enjoy listening to him in the chat. Well, listening in quotes, that is. I've only sat in on one of his streams. I haven't really watched his streams. I don't really watch a lot of streams anymore. I'm so focused on... I watch Big Flip, Silver Nitrate, EVG when I get a chance because he streams so late. And usually I only get to watch him when I am, that's a nice condition. It just dropped. Oh, okay. I'm a teacher by trade, so when school's in session, I don't get to watch EVG anymore. only on holidays and some dude named analyst. That's not the air. That just looks like there's some crud on the lettering. I don't know. The initials are covered up by something, but I can't tell what it is. Where did I do? Oh, there it is. Let me see here. Well, if I get the light to hit it just right. Yeah, it's just some gunk on it. I'm not going to keep that. Go to... Almost threw that one away. Gotta check for the cud and the gap. Okay. Yeah, I got my packages from EVG and Big Flip and Silver Nitrate, like all on the same day. No, I got EVGs before, but I think yeah. But I got Big Flip, Silver Nitrate, and something from Provident Metals all at one time, so I had to make a nice video about that and load it because I just thought it was cool. I got them all at once, so it got to show a lot of stuff off. And if y'all don't keep up with Provident Metals, the bullion dealer online, the prices are comparable to everybody else. There's nothing really special about them in that respect. But they do weekly sales, and they're always putting something on sale every week. And sometimes you can find some really good deals. And they're owned by JM Bullion now. So, but they still run the websites independently, pseudo-independently of each other, because Provident, most of their inventory comes out of Vegas. I don't know where JM's comes out of. I think all they did was buy them out in owner stake and just said keep doing what you're doing. But they offered the San Antonio Mission. That's what's going on. There it goes. The San Antonio Mission 5-ounce quarter for $120 shipped. Now here in Texas we don't pay tax on bullion, so it was straight up $120 shipped. I know a lot of states charge tax still, so it would be more for y'all. But I felt that was a very fair price for those, considering the new ones that are coming out now from the mint. They're in the 140s, I believe, just to purchase one of those. So, which I find that interesting. When you first get a new one out there, they charge so much, but then once they hit the market, it's whatever the price of the market is at that point, spot plus premium. So I mean, I've actually seen some things that come out that like almost immediately drop in value, I guess you could say, or drop in cost rather. District of Columbia, so I need to put another one in there. You may hear screaming in the background. I got my nieces over, and they're all between the ages of 8 and 12, so they squeal a lot. And even with doors closed and soundproofing here a little bit and there, they still get loud. So, but told them I was going to do this tonight, so they know not to bother me for right now. Yeah, it's going to take longer than I thought having to roll these things. But if I don't roll them and give them back, she won't do this again. When they start getting coins back in stock, she will not think of me and call me. And she's one of the ladies that she just got a promotion, and the branch is my main branch that I go to. She worked there for several years, known me for a while, just because I was banking there. And she got promoted to assistant branch manager to another branch a few miles away from, a few miles further out, and in the opposite direction of where she was working, which just so happens to be inside of a Kroger here, a grocery store, and that's where I get my medicine prescriptions filled. So when I went in there and saw her there, it's like, hey, I hadn't seen you in a while. What happened? They said, because I only go to every 3 months is all when I get my prescriptions filled. And we started talking. She got promoted, and so I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, saying something about the Connecticut's earlier about the broad striking that happens. I've actually seen some of the struck where the center image is run off the edge and there's a big fat lip on the other end. This one is beginnings of it, but you can still see a rim on the top, so I'm not going to keep it. Once I get done, I'm going to pull out some of the coins I have found and show y'all some of the stuff I found. Get your opinion on a couple of things. I think I found a couple of 74D DDOs. $50 hunting, but I'm not. I honestly, I second guess myself all the time, and I need second opinions on things. To me, it looks like it could be, but the coin is not in greatest shape, so it couldn't be. And then I'm gonna find one of these leaves one of these days too. Yeah, the Wisconsin. Yeah. One of these days, I'm going to find one of those high or low leaves on those Wisconsins. When I did my 100 subscriber giveaway thing, I opened rolls of quarters that I had then, and I had a half a box left of a box I was going through, and opened them for everybody, and we actually found, yeah, they are only on the D's. 2004 was the year that Texas had its state quarter, and so I bought like 4 or 5 silver proof sets at the time, and I heard that you could actually find the now I haven't verified this, but I've heard that you could actually find them on the silver proof S's too. Now, I haven't seen one, but that's what I heard, because there were rumors that they were done deliberately and it wasn't an error. It wasn't, some kind of accident, but somebody deliberately made those to make money on their own, I guess, because they could make them and then grab them and run. But I don't know how much validity there is in that, but that was the rumor at the time. Yeah, a lot of circulation on that, because it wasn't just one error. There was two. There was the high and the low leaf, and so that sparked the rumor mill, saying that maybe it was intentional and it wasn't something that just happened, because there were two errors, and they were not just errors are distinct, like the speared bison on the nickel. It's a die crack that happens to run through and looks like a spear. You'll find other die cracks too on the bisons. I've seen people show off other die cracks, but not as prominent as the spear. But the high was shaped like a leaf, and then the low comes out and is shaped like the leaf. So it's two different errors in the same region, perfectly formed to form leaves. It was a little too coincidental, you know what I mean? So a lot of rumors started flying that they were intentional, and that there's others out there with like the silver proofs and stuff. Now, of course, I don't know the validity of that. That's just the rumor mill that was going on. Now, this quarter here, somebody said that there's a die cut in between the finger and the pommel of the sword, to where they touch instead of being normal. Looks like just something gashed the coin there. I don't think that's I don't know why I'm doing this, really. Huh. Oh yeah, you can see the scratch once you get the light in a certain way. Okay. Ooh, these crusty coins. I don't think you can tell either way with that one being so crusty right there. And if it is an error, they can keep it. See some real shiny quarters, but they're all in the 90s. I found 167 that was pretty decent once. I found a 76 that had to be BU, at least AU. And then I found a $50 the same way. It looked at least AU, if not BU. And I sent them to Big Flip. Said, you can do what you want with them. It was back when he was talking about he couldn't find bats, and I was coming across D-bats left and right around here, and so I sent him a roll, and then sent him a few more for him to hand out to people that don't have the D's, and then also sent him the bicentennial half and quarter that was both almost in circulated condition. Like I said, AU if not BU. What else? Oh yeah, one of my first boxes that I hunted quarter-wise had a bunch of S's from 2017 and 2018 in them. Probably 15, 16 S's. Somebody told me that those were not proofs. They were those years the mint actually made not intended for circulation quarters of the S's, and they sold them in bags to people if they wanted them. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I was told. The only other explanation is those are all proof coins. Somebody had a whole collection of them and dumped them. I don't know which one's more valid. I just know I wound up with about 15 different S's, mostly from 2 different coins. There was one in Massachusetts, I think, but most of them were Apostle Island and something else. There's a Guam. Really? Lower mintage than W's? I didn't know that. And they do it to today? That's interesting. Yeah, NIFC S Mint non-proof on quarters from 2012 through today. Lower mintage than EW. Yeah, but I don't think they're worth as much. I guess that's because of popularity. I don't know if people really... Could you really tell the difference between one of those and one out of a proof set? Hey, little nitrate. No, I'm just going through this box of quarters that one of my managers graciously let me borrow. And I use the term borrow because the condition was I could buy the box, go through the box, but I had to re-roll them and bring them back to her when I'm done. She knows I cornhole hunt, so I thought that was mighty gracious of her. So I'm doing what she asked and re-rolling as I go. We're just showing what I find, checking for errors, things like that. We may have found a spitting horse. We're not sure. It looks like it might be spitting. If you turn it the right way, it looks like there's a little spit coming out, but we don't know. Yeah, I'm just going through these. I pull out 2009s also because they seem to be rare. I was showing off the dimes I found earlier today that have this die clash on them. Yeah, there's a decent picture of it right there. Where it's got the strike from its hairline down to the... Let's see if I can get... Yeah. You can see it looks like it's been struck from here all the way down. So... I opened those earlier, though. I didn't open them on camera. Yeah, more like a gleeking horse, yeah. Looks like it's trying to hawk one, but it gave up, yeah. Yeah, I remember gleeking. I remember kids that could do it real well in school. Still a nasty thing to do, but yeah. Kids will be kids. I don't think kids nowadays do stupid things like that. They got their own form of idiocy that they come up with nowadays. We lived in simpler times where kids just like to spit on each other. Now they want to do a lot worse. Yeah, kids today they're interesting. And they do things that shock me, and I've seen them a lot. Looking for that pooping horse. Yeah. You know, I found... I haven't found a pooping horse yet where you got the die cut in between there. But I found one where there's a big die cut along the outer edge of the tail. Kept it. nasty. Is shock a good thing? Well, I thought it was on that quarter, the pooping horse. I've been looking at the wrong one then. Are you shocked about pooping horse? Is that what you're shocked about, Little Nitrate? I don't cuss, but if pooping's a bad word for you, I'm sorry. I did make a fair warning that this is not a kid's site, a kid's stream, just in case. I don't want to get in trouble, you know. Oh, kids shock me. Oh, I got you. I guess shock isn't the right word. But then again, I have seen some things that made me pause and rethink my perspective, I guess I could say. Because, well, no, I've actually things that kids, it would shock and shaking my head fall into the same category, you know, because they do something so off the cuff or so out there that you just like, I can't believe you did it. What is going on there? No, but in the general perspective, kids don't shock me. Nothing shocks me, and I know what they're capable of. So, oh, it's okay, Little Nitrate. I'm glad you stopped by. You've heard worse at school, yes. Yes, I imagine you have. Like I said, I'm a teacher. I hear a lot, too. Adios. You know, my very first quarter box that I opened when I very first started to do this, I found a silver. Are you still there? It said disconnect. Now it said it's reconnected. Are we back? Are we back yet? Let me see if it's back on here. I see that it's sending a signal still, and it's popped back on. But is it? The viewer count not working either. Did we come back? I hope so. Say something if you can see me, so I can make sure it's working. According to this, it's still working. Okay, well, guess I'll leave it as is and keep going. I don't know if y'all are still here or not, but it says the stream's still going, so that's a pretty nice 76D. Pretty decent condition. It's got a little wear, but I mean, it's got some, still got some luster to it, so who knows. Let me see if it's I don't see any doubling, but I may hold it back because it's a nice condition one. So put another one in. Can y'all see the stream? Hey Jason, I guess we must be back. No, the only thing we've really found so far is I just found this decent looking 76. I mean, it's not BU, but it's really nice. It's got some luster to it. And what we think is we're calling it a gleeking horse because it doesn't look like it's got very much spit coming out of its mouth, but you turn it just right, you can actually see the little line that could be a scratch, could be the die, we don't know. But it's not the greatest condition of a coin, so I'm pulling it out just in case. And then I found 4 2009s. I found District Columbia, 2 of those. I found the Guam, and I found a Samoa so far. That's what we found. But I'm having to re-roll as we go because I promised the manager of the bank that allowed me to get the box of quarters, because she said she had less than 2 boxes of quarters left. They're not getting any more in anytime soon. That's all we have to work with. She knows what I do. She's known me for a while, for years. And she said I can take the box. I can buy the box if I promise to bring it back. So I'm re-rolling as I go. Just the fact that she's letting me take the box. It was a sealed box, so I was taking a chance whether I was going to get circulated or whatever. They were circulated, of course, but hey, I'm getting the search. I'm feeding that habit. I don't mind rolling forward and bringing them back. I told her I've got other coins too that I can roll it for, because I've got a piggy bank here that every time I get home from work I just drop it in there. And I told her I'd roll them up. I don't have any rollers, and she gave me a handful of all different denominations so I could roll them up for her too, so she could get a stockpile of coins in, because she's just running low, she said. I help her out and she'll help me out. But other than that, we haven't really found anything. But I'm checking for errors as I go on stuff that I know has an error, or stuff that I think I know has an error. There's Mariana Islands. Cool. Got a pile of quarters over here that I pull from as I pull out, so that way I know there's still 50 sitting here. No die in the gap. Hey, Puerto Rico. Wow. I think that's all 5 of them. I think there's 5. Let's see. In the did you get your package yet, Jason? It's 3 of them in this one roll. Oh, that was smart. Oh, I did find something in Dimes earlier today. That big, it's a die clash or something on the 2020 Ds. Goes from here and goes all the way down the neck. Out of a roll of one roll of 50, I found 10 of them. Now, varying intensities, of course. This one's probably the deepest gouge there is, but a couple of them just look like in the light it's just a scratch along that line. Kind of hard to tell. But I pulled it out. If it had any hint of that on it, I pulled it out. Now, some say it's a die clash. Some say, it's a strike through. I don't know what it is. They're not doing a lot on eBay, but if you look at it in perspective, they're doing $2 to $3 on eBay. It's a dime. So they're getting 20, 30 times their money for it. So I guess that's good profit, right? Hey Brian, how you doing, brother? Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. I appreciate it. I'm just going through this box of quarters that one of my managers blessed me with today, on the condition that I bring them back so she's not out of quarters, because everybody's hurting. She told me that that Wells Fargo has stopped bringing coins to them now. That they're so behind on rolling that they're just not even sending out coins at this moment. And so she said, I'm down to less than 2 boxes, 1 sealed and 400 rolls. And I said, well, can I get the box? She goes, if you promise to bring them back. I'm like, yeah, I'll roll them for you and bring them back if you let me go through them. So this is what I'm doing. Going through them and rolling as I go. I told her I had some other change I'll roll up for also and bring to her, because they're hurting for coin right now. It's just the coin is not circulating. It's all getting backed up. One of these days I'm going to find one of these that I know for sure, without a doubt, is the Spitting Horse. Other than that, I'm just going through this box. I wanted to do something tonight, and when they graced me with this box, I'm like, well, I know what I'm going to do tonight. Oh, that's good. Someone else told me they got theirs in today too, so that's cool. I'm glad y'all are getting them. I tried to send it the cheapest route I knew how, praying they wouldn't get lost in the mail, but I couldn't justify spending $2 on insurance for a gram of silver. If need be, I just send another one out and see what happens. But yeah, I was pretty sure they'd make it. I mean, I've dealt with the post office for many years, selling on eBay, and they've got about I would sell 1,000 packages a year on eBay, and I think my loss rate through the mail was like less than 1%. Maybe you lose 2 or 3 packages a year, and that was during the off season, which was really weird. So, uh-oh, did I replace those quarters? You know what? If they tell me that they were short, then I will say, well, here's some extras, just in case. I'll bring a handful of quarters with me and just hand them to them and say, look, I may be off by one. I'm not sure, but yeah. Here's some extras just in case. It's actually be 3 of these are the ones I think are missing that I just didn't pay attention. This is just the schoolhouse, so I don't see any snow on the roof. I haven't found ungodly rust in a while. I found like 2 or 3 back to back, and then nothing. My best one though says "in odd we ust." The grease got into all kinds of crevices on that one. I mean, you can get it in the light and see them, but when you're looking straight down at it, you don't see any of those letters. There's Northern Marianas. So, there. This one's beat up. Nope. Okay. Sorry guys, I got neighbors outside my window because I live in an apartment complex, and they're saying some not so friendly words. So I'm muting just so y'all wouldn't have to deal with their language. Apologize. That's the one of the issues with living in an apartment complex. You got to deal with inconsiderate neighbors, and my window happens to be right where the upstairs dumps out onto the ground floor, and so I get to hear all kinds of colorful things from adults, from kids, from it's just life, I guess. I've had to talk with the kids a couple of times about it, saying, look, you're sitting on these stairs just having a conversation, just enjoying yourselves, which I get, and that's fine. But you have to be considerate of the fact that you're sitting right next to my window. And I've told y'all that many times. and they still do it. And I'm not the one. I'm not that guy that's going to sit there and call the cops on somebody. I'm not that guy. But I'll tell management. Say, look, you need to get these kids under control. You need to have a little consideration. If you're going to sit there and cut up and goof off, at least do it in front of someone else's window, not mine. Because kids get loud, which I understand as a kid once. That's why I don't get on to them too much about it. Because I understand they're just living life. That's a nice looking Missouri. That's a real nice looking Missouri. I have to check and see if I have. I've been slowly putting together a P&D set of state quarters. And I don't know if I have that one or not. I don't have the list here in front of me. But if I don't, that's definitely going to go into my list. Yeah, and it's for Missouri is 2003. That coin has been in circulation for now, what, 13 years, 14 years, and it's still looking that good? No, more than that. Dang. 18 years. It's been in circulation that long, so, well, probably, and it's still that good a condition. So that's what I try to do. Is if I find them in that good a condition, I'll pull them aside, and then I'll start putting that set together. I'm putting a ATB set together like that also, but I've noticed there are certain ATBs that are out there that you find all the time in immaculate condition. And I'm not going to pull them all out. I had to have stacks and stacks of quarters everywhere just sitting there, and they're just not worth holding on to. Especially the ones with the birds. I've seen a lot of where the birds are flying off the America the Beautiful coins. Like this one here is an America the Beautiful coin. Homestead, that's what they're called. And I find them all the time in just awesome condition. Like this one here is an example of one of the birds I find, and it looks like it just came out of the printing press. It is that beautiful. I mean, sometimes they're so bright and shiny that I think they're proof, but they're just new. They just still look brand new. Yep. If you start hearing my neighbors, let me know and I'll turn the volume off. Because it sounds like they're having a powwow outside. And we're almost halfway through the box. Yeah, I knew this would take a while having to re-roll them, but I'd rather do this and get to hunt than Oh, no problem. I appreciate you stopping by. You have a good night now. The last rolls I streamed. Thanks, Brian. We found a foreign. So I thought that's pretty cool. Found a foreign. Nope. I found a few foreigns along the way. Let's see if I have one right here. Oh, I think make a mess. Yeah. Of course, I found a Canadian, which I think we all find Canadian sometime. Canadian beaver from 1979. But out of $half, I found let's see. Probably have to go further out. Yeah, I found this. Not. It's doing okay, smart boy. Just going through his quarters, found a bunch of 2009s. Found one possible error. Nothing else. I'm just showing off some of the foreign I found, over my hunting. These are $half that I found. This is a Balboa from Republica of Panama, 1979. I found that cornrow hunting. And then I found this one for a minute. It threw me because it looked like a normal coin on the edge. And then when I get into it, it's a I can't read that. It's too small. Del Mar Del Sur 2013. It's a Republica de Panama from 2013. Those are two of the coins I found. Oh, did you get your package, smart boy? I know that several other people were saying that they got theirs. So, yeah, I found those corner hunting so far, foreign-wise. Have you seen this dime before, the 2020 dime? Yeah, you've seen 2020 dimes. Now I know that. Don't be smart. There is, if you notice on